Hey there, it's Tricia Carr, and I'm bringing to you the 5th day of my 29 days of lunar phase. And so we are fully in the new crescent moon now. I'm actually going to give you right up front some of the evergreen information about the crescent moon, and then I'm also going to give you a little bit of an energy update because as I am recording this and then we'll be publishing it on the same time, it is Halloween. It is October 31st, 2019. And just a lot of interesting stuff going on with the current energies. And again, anytime that you listen to this, the crescent moon energy, even if it's not in a crescent moon at the time, you could still be working on some of those energies and the way that you're feeling the intentions, or you could be preparing for the next crescent moon. And then also the kinds of energy that would be going on with the current climate, with it being Halloween, the thinning of the veil, and the first day of a Mercury Retrograde. All of these things could make sense to you if you're aligning with this at some other time. And even if it's just tomorrow, if you happen to catch it tomorrow on November 1st of 2019, we'll still be in the energy of it. So let me start with the crescent moon. And this is, like I say, we're in day 5 of this lunar cycle, having gone through 3.5 to 4 days of the fourth day being kind of overlapping energy of the new moon and the crescent. Yesterday, the video that I did yesterday gave you a full overview of how to use the lunar cycle and what each of these different phases, the kinds of energies that are offered and how you can connect with them. So go ahead and catch up with that one at some point, because I think you'll really appreciate how to use that. And check in the description of that video from the previous published video, and or if you're listening on the podcast, and check in the description of this one and that other one, because I will be posting a downloadable PDF or a blog that will give you the outline of all of these different lunar phases. So the crescent moon, as we have moved from the dark moon, where the moon is not visible because she is fully facing the sun, so her illumined side is facing the sun because she is in the direct path of the sun as it concerns the sun, the moon, and then the earth here. And that is the energy that we were experiencing, going deep within, connecting with source to be able to find the beginning of the intentions and start to form the intentions. With the crescent moon, we are now starting to take action upon the intentions while we're still refining them too. It's a sort of grace. It's a period of grace. So a crescent moon is starting to show a sliver of her illumination to the earth. And that's what you are doing at this time. You are taking action on those intentions as you started to over the last couple of days, and you're actually still reforming them. So there is this period of grace to go back into the intention, the depth of it, because still most of you is focused on connecting with source. Most of the moon is facing the sun, and that is her source. So most of you is still connecting to source, the source deep within, which is the experience of God energy, source energy, creator energy. And you are starting to face your illumination, start to share your gift with the world. It is definitely the time of action. It is the time of momentum, but the momentum may not feel really quick. It's almost like a self-starter kind of energy. So if you've started to take action so far, today may be the time where you're like really got to go, okay, I have the habit. I've had about 3 or 4 days maybe of the habit, at least 2 days of the new habit, of the new actions, the new awareness of these intentions. And today I'm going to kind of have to go for it because I'm kind of leaving the nest a little bit. I may want a little security still. Recognize that most of your energy is still connected with source, and that is still the way that you receive your inspiration and your motivation is from being in that source energy deep within. So check in with that a lot, because that is actually where your energy is. And then give yourself pace. Give yourself the almost like a to-do list, even if it's 3 things, to make sure that you're taking action on the things that are the highlights of the things that are connected to your intention, the things that would be that resonate with you the most. But do them, because even if they resonate with you the most, you may be feeling a little bit like rusty about getting to them. It's like having a new friend. You might be excited about it, but you don't have the habit of visiting them yet, because they're new. And you have to make room in your schedule and sort of just kind of get into that excitement energy so that you can start to shine it out into the world. there is a little bit of a feeling of, again, starting to feel vulnerable and wanting to be a little bit cozy inside, not wanting to show yourself yet. So you kind of have to start to use some of the connection to the earth and ground, because you're starting to connect to the earth in that way. So grounding the intentions is really a mantra for right now, being in touch with that. I'm looking at my notes to see what I wrote down in my journal after I meditated this morning, and that's what I recommend that you do, is to feel how you are responding to the energies, the global lunar energies, the mother energies of the moon. So yes, I said the beginning of momentum, moving with full support, because you're mostly connected with Source still, and revealing yourself to the world. So now is the time to keep up the work. This is the time to be methodical. So be methodical a little bit. Like I said, if there are 3 tasks, if there are 5, if you feel really motivated, that could be your personal lunar cycle responding to the mother lunar cycle. But be a bit methodical and be sure to execute the tasks and the actions. So be methodical as intentions still feel a bit like new friends. So that is your crescent moon energy, you guys. Go and do some things with it. And some of those things to do on your to-do list could be envisioning, feeling into the energies and allowing them to fill in with conditions that excite you, and then releasing the conditions. So like I said, it is a state of grace too, to be able to go into the feeling nature so that you can form the intentions more and then take action steps on them. The action steps will count, but at the same time, they are also a part of the trial and error process, because if you take an action step and it didn't quite work, well, that's when grace comes in, and then you can make a different choice for an action step. So it could be a sifting and sorting period. And so finally, the energy update, the current energies. It is Halloween or Samhain or All Hallows Eve. Those are many different demarcations, holidays that are held around this particular date. And it's no coincidence that October 31st, it's the harvest moon is the full moon that's closest to the fall equinox. And this year in 2019, it actually happened in about mid-September. But when we get past that harvest moon we get to the fall equinox, we start to shift to there being more dark time than light time in our 24-hour cycle. And so we're shifting the experience of our connection to Source or connection to Sun. And we're actually moving into a state of grace. I didn't realize this until just now. They're just telling me this is why they talk to me about grace. Shifting as we are in the seasons, we're moving into a state of grace. Now, of course, I'm talking about the Northern Hemisphere. Sorry to be so egotistical. If you're in the Southern Hemisphere, you're doing the opposite, but it is still a shifting and a transitioning, and you can use this information for when you go from summer to fall to winter. And in this October 31st, 2019, the veil is thin, and that's just true. The energies are shifting. The environment is shifting. The elements are moving things around. There's a lot of busying and reforming. There's a lot of dematerialization happening. And the veil is thin between the human's facility to recognize the non-physical. And that's why we do the little things that we do that maybe are spooky. But we can choose to see on the other side of the veil just the things that are light, the things that are love, the things that are positive. I actually made a post today saying that the veil is thin so we could see the light shine through more brightly, if we so choose. And so I offer that to you in this season, even though, October 31st is one day, there is several weeks of this kind of transitional energy and of the veil being thinner. Do your meditation, do your inner communion, do your prayer, do all of these things so that you can utilize that energy to be deeper in touch with the universe, with spirit, with your piece of the one energy that creates all of the worlds, all of the stars. And we also have Mercury Retrograde starting today on October 31st. How crazy is that? And in fitting timing, I had trouble getting my camera to turn on before this. So I was just patient. I took some breaths. I unplugged and replugged everything. And What was great about that is that I'm actually doing a live broadcast tomorrow. So I did a little run through and got to spend a little time and making sure the connections worked. And that's what that retrograde, that communication experience is about. Mercury retrograde isn't a bad thing. If you can travel, you can start new projects. It's just asking, it's allowing you to take more time with it and allowing yourself to do any catch up, any healing. At the beginning of this year, there was a Mercury retrograde and my computer completely crashed on me, died, motherboard fried. And it happened when I was starting a new program, and it was a stressful moment. But you know what? I had been neglecting for myself to replace that machine. I had been staying in a kind of lack consciousness, thinking that I didn't deserve or I shouldn't or it wasn't the right time. And so the energies supported my computer being taken away from me so that I could upgrade. And so those are the kinds of opportunities that there are. Just take a little more time. Take another breath before you act, or before you move, or before you execute something new, which I think is a great alignment for this crescent moon energy that we're talking about. And so that is the 5th day of 29 days of lunar phase. I will see you tomorrow, and we'll continue with this crescent moon energy. Thank you for joining me in this mini episode of Charmed Life. I want to remind you that as this is going out, that I have a new program that I'm starting. Check in the description and hang out afterward. You'll be able to hear a little ad. I also have my Mystic Arts Academy, which is ongoing. And this is where I at least twice monthly, am offering live classes online. We meet on Zoom. And if you're in Los Angeles, sometimes they're in person. And it's a way for us to engage more deeply. In those classes, I tend to do channeling and bring through really impactful, intense, some of the sort of almost experimental energies that are coming through at the time. So go check all of that out on my website. And thank you so much for joining me. This has just been so amazing. Work with the lunar energies. I promise you, it is really powerful. And I will see you next time. Thanks for tuning in. I love you, whoever you are. Hey everyone, it's Tricia Carr. I'm really excited because it is the time of the year for me to offer my Animal Communication Comprehensive Program live online. Whether you are interested in the profession or if you would like to connect more deeply with your own animal family members, having an understanding of this form of telepathy will enhance your life and all of your other intuitive gifts. About once per year, I offer this program live, and that time is now. It is starting in December of 2019, and this particular live program has some bonus time added in. So the way this program works is it is delivered live online, and we also have a private study group of a beautiful community of like-hearted animal and nature lovers. Go ahead and check it out. The link is in the description, and I hope to see you there. Thank you so much for your love of animals, for your love of our planet, and for shining your light on our beautiful world.